I was stupid enough to try the new Mascot Horror game Toytopia. I'm not really sure what my expectations were going in. I'm probably not the target audience, although I do love horror games and I enjoy me some FNAF. And for the most part, I can respect Poppy playtime even if I don't think it plays very well and it's not really a game for me. But going into Toytopia, I thought I'd at least enjoy some aspects of it, hell, any aspect of it. But that was one of the worst pieces of garbage I've ever played. Now, feel free to fire away and call me an idiot. But it got me thinking. These Mascot Horror games are here to stay, and we keep seeing more and more of them being pumped out, each worse than the last. I genuinely think there's only one or two good ones. But it could be worse than just they're bad games. There might be something actually sinister going on here. And maybe I've just been oblivious to it this whole time because I don't touch these types of games. Let's have a little chat about Mascot Horror games. So I did a quick playthrough of this game. It took me about 30 minutes before I had to shut it off and watch the rest on a game guide on YouTube because I just couldn't deal with it. The big thing was just how poorly the game runs, and I don't have like a supercomputer, but I do have a decent graphics card in a 2060 Super and a good CPU. So I should have been able to run this game fairly well, and it doesn't even look that great. It looks pretty identical to Poppy playtime in my opinion, and you might be able to even make a couple of claims of plagiarism for the freaking teddy bear that's clearly Freddy Fazbear. It's Freddy Fazballs. I mean, it's just not even, it's so shameless, bro. Claiming plagiarism or whatever is probably not fair. They just have a teddy bear monster that kills you that says he runs the show. In reality, I don't think he even runs the show. There's like some tall, slender man looking dude at the end who's all like, I like your skin, can I have it? Like just some big dumb idiot. Oh god. But I noticed right away, nothing in the game runs very well. Nothing in the game even tells you what you're supposed to be doing. You're just dropped in and you have to fumble around in the dark. It is very dark unless you like crank up all the settings and really stress test your PC, which it shouldn't be a stress test because this game, what is it, like 100 megabytes or something? It can't be that big. It really feels like they intentionally did not optimize it at all. They made areas more confusing or stupid in general. And some stuff even requires some reflexes, like when the bear is chasing you in the mine shaft thing, which is there for some reason. He's running at you, you've got to take pictures really fast. You got to take like 10 pictures to get out of that area. It wasn't a problem for me, but for a kid, that might be a bit stressful and hard to do. So is that a good thing? I don't know. They may never get past that part. But then you go even further, and there's an area where you're supposed to shoot fish. They didn't even spell fishes right, dude. The area is too dark to even really see where the fish are. I cranked all my settings up and I still somehow didn't pass even though I couldn't see where some of these fishes were. I was getting like 18 frames, which is crazy because I can get like 120 in a new game. I can get that in Spider-Man 2018. Why would this game be more demanding than web slinging through the entire city of New York? I have no idea, but it feels intentional. The game is about 20 minutes long, but I think they're trying to trap people into having to play more than 2 hours so they can't request a refund for how garbage it is. And I have seen positive reception from what I have to assume are children in YouTube comment sections. But these fucking games are so lazy. Each one after another is so lazy. They make no attempts to do something original. Nothing in here is original. And I have to keep stressing that I feel bad being so critical for a game that's not meant for me, but I do have a son on the way. I will be a father starting next month. I guess part of me thought it would be interesting to see what kind of games are on the rise and what he might be interested in, and maybe I could connect with them, and maybe they're pretty good. You know, a lot of children's shows that come out are supposed to be pretty good. I haven't really watched Bluey. I tried to. I mean, I don't think Bluey is bad. It's just not something I could really get into, but I'm glad to see that my kid will watch something that might teach him something. It looks good. There's a lot of effort into the voice acting and everything, all that jazz. So yeah, naturally I felt intrigued to go and play a game that he might have fun in that genre and see what's going on there. I mean, this game, it starts off with a phone call telling you that you need to go check out this abandoned amusement park because like the animatronics or whatever those things were supposed to be come alive and they attack people. Bro, that's just FNAF. It's just FNAF. Down to the phone call at the beginning. The only thing that's missing is you're not a security guard.
Mysterious disappearances. Oh, but my kids were obsessed with the place. Especially after seeing those commercials. But you know,
this is just FNAF already.
However,
But there's stuff that's intentionally trying to throw you off. You can open a room that's filled with all these colors that are almost exactly like the colors of the buttons on the wall, just to find out that you're just wasting time in that room. I couldn't figure out how to crack the code from those colors at all. They put colors on everything in the room, probably because Poppy Playtime starts with a color puzzle. I just kept trying every combination I could, and then eventually I found like a voice recorder on a table.
Hey, if there's anyone there, please listen to me. That escaped out of its cell, and that thing is trying to escape. Go to the maintenance room and close all the doors, quick! The code is green, red, blue, pink, and yellow.
And it just tells you the color combination. So why can I get in the room with all the colors and everything? Eventually, that unlocks anyways and changes it to an entirely different room. The fact this game costs any money at all is insane. I think we need to set a better precedent for what our kids play and what the future of video games should be, and I don't think any aspect of that should be lazy. I should have been able to play this, get a couple good scares in because I'm a pussy and I scream at everything, including Valorant, and just kind of like breeze through it and be like, okay, that wasn't too bad. My expectations were exactly that it wouldn't be for me, but I could respect it for what it was and what it was doing for the genre. This is not helping anybody. This is not helping your kids. They shouldn't have to grow up on garbage. They should just be playing Fortnite and shit like that. Like, this is way better. I decided to dig a little deeper because I wanted to make sure I was judging this genre of games respectfully and not just going off of one. Like I said, I wasn't a big fan of Poppy Playtime. I like FNAF, so I'm 1 for 1. Now, FNAF was the start of this, so when it came out, it was new, it was refreshing. They tried to make something good, and I think they genuinely did. The first game is very fun. And I also like Ultimate Custom Night. I looked around and I saw some that seemed interesting and possibly even good. My Friendly Neighborhood looks like it's packed full of interesting characters and like good design, and the reviews are really sharp and people seem to really enjoy it. I've heard of Garten of Banban. I wasn't really sure of the reputation other than it was a meme. People have jokingly asked me in chat if I would play Garten of Banban, and I said, no, I'm not playing that. I don't know what that is. You're making a joke out of this shit. I don't know what you're talking about. So I looked into that, thinking it was one game. There's like 9 games, and they all range from $5 to $10 outside of the first one. And they only started in like 2023, so it's been like less than a year, and they pushed out like 9 games, all ranging from $5 to $10. I made sure to look at some of the gameplay and watch a couple of playthroughs from start to finish, which was unbearable. The whole time it looked like shit, even if the guy was doing everything he was supposed to. And these guys are making a killing. They're scamming people. They're making the laziest games possible. It's shovelware, I guess, right? There's no passion, there's no love behind it. They're doing what the quadruple A studios wish they could do. Make a bunch of money off of the worst ideas they could possibly muster up and the laziest efforts they possibly can. And it's not exclusive to this genre, but this genre has so much of it. And I mean, like, this could be like a pamphlet for you to become a millionaire, because you could probably make a better game than Toytopia or Garten of Banban. And I'm sure by next year there'll be 5 Toytopias and all the kids are going to be obsessed with it. We won't have Matt Pat around giving us game theories about it, so that's kind of a freaking wash. Not that I think he should. These are freaking terrible. I even managed to find some comments that were saying Garten of Banban had merch releasing before the game even came out. So they knew they just had to make a couple creepy designs and that was it. They can shoehorn the rest of the garbage into the landfill and make a bunch of money. I did see one game on here that struck me because I didn't realize this was considered a Mascot Horror game. That's Amanda the Adventurer. Now, I really like Amanda the Adventurer. That game is brimming with new ideas and an interesting gameplay mechanic and is anything but lazy. It's a labor of love from someone who really wanted to do something new with the horror genre. I love the whole playthrough. It was hilarious, well voice acted, everything. But I was confused how it was a Mascot Horror game. So I was going to Google, is Amanda the Adventurer a Mascot Horror game, to see what other people have thought of that. And then the first search result I saw was, is Amanda the Adventurer real? And it was just funny to think that there are kids staying up late at night thinking there's a VHS out there somewhere that could kill them or something, you know, with like a talking sheep in there. Amanda the Adventurer is a game that transcends the genre. Because yes, it's a mascot horror game, but it's so good that I didn't realize it was. The mascot being the little sheep dude, Amanda's compadre, her best friend, her buddy. I'm stalling because I can't remember his name. Both Amanda and him talk, and you go through these adventures with them. It just feels better than this other crap that I'm seeing. It's also really violent and scary and weird and creepy, and I don't know what kids should be playing that. To be honest, I don't want to be like a Karen or whatever. I know I was playing violent shit like that when I was a kid. I was popping melons with the boys on Call of Duty like it was normal. But I remember stuff like the little sheep getting his foot caught in a trap, like the flies and the gross meat stuff in one of those scenes. It's all very creepy and surreal, and I'm shocked that people consider that to be a kid's game. I honestly didn't get the vibe at all from it. And I think that's how you do it right. It still appeals to the kids, but it's so genuinely creepy that I can appreciate it myself, so much so that I would question letting my kids see that if they were too young. I remember being a kid. I remember wanting to do the things I wasn't supposed to do, so I would probably find interest in it as well. And I don't even think the developers were thinking about who the age group it was for. I think they just wanted to take their idea and make something good with it. They weren't looking for a target demographic because video games aren't supposed to be about that. They're supposed to be passion and labors of love. And if the target demographic leeches onto that, that's great. FNAF was the same thing. That wasn't supposed to be intended for children. It was supposed to be about a children's restaurant. That's just because it was a gimmick that hadn't been done before, and the gameplay mechanics were new. The way these new games are doing it, they're just doing the bare minimum, and they're scamming people out of their money, and they're tricking children with this predatory scheme. It's dumb, and I hate it, and it has to be my least favorite genre of video games. It just has to be. This is the worst. I love horror games, and I'm just watching this go down the shitter. Toytopia managed to get me worked up over a moldy-looking Play-Doh bear in a freaking mine shaft. I mean, I'll be honest with you, $6 is a lot to me. I got a kid on the way. I need every penny I can get, so I definitely feel swindled by having to play that garbage. I feel like I wasted my time. I could have been editing a video on something else. Instead, I'm giving you just an insane rant that won't end about mascot horror games. If I could, I would put a stop to mascot horror games. But for now, I'll just stop the video. Bye! Dude, she comes so quick, though. Don't you dare take that out of...
Just reach up with the body, like it's just a hobby. Ain't no assessing it saucy.